welcome back to Talks with Tiffany. Thank you guys so much for watching. Today we're going to be doing a sister-sister dialogue and conversation. I have my sister with me, TImberley, and she is from Atlanta. She's here in LA with me for the weekend, and so this was really her idea.
Yes, it was. So I felt that it would be a great opportunity for my sister and I to open up a platform for other women out there to encourage themselves, or for us to encourage other women. We are sisters, but we have built friendships with other women in our life that have been our support system as well. So those are our sisters, and we want to have a dialogue of honesty and transparency, with no judgment, and just love and support, and kind words, honest words, and relatable stories, because we've all been through things throughout our lives and on our journeys, but we'll never know if we don't speak about it. Yes. So there are so many unspoken heartaches and doubts and fears and what ifs, and I don't know if I can make it, and I want to quit moments in our life that we do face alone because we are too afraid, I think, to reach out. And so I am here in LA right now because I knew my sister needed me. And it's a bond that we have now, but it was something that we had to work towards. And I do honestly believe that there are so many other women that we could reach by just starting this dialogue with just the two of us. Yes. So hopefully, this can become a series, and we can get some input and some comments to see what you guys would like for us to talk about, and just see where this goes, because I know it's so important. So yeah, let's begin.
Yeah, so really, like she said, we have not always been close.
Did I say that?
Yeah. Well, we haven't always been close. It wasn't until I had my son almost 9 years ago, and it was then that we started getting close. And we're practically almost 30 now. But well, I'm almost 30. She's about to be 27. But it wasn't until about almost 9 years ago that we started getting close. But we used to never be close. But I'm so grateful that we are, because what I learned this week is that I don't have to go through things alone. And I think being a Christian and being raised in church, you're kind of used to seeing everybody be like happy with a smile on their face and like full of faith and just like God's gonna do it and just happy, right? Rarely do you see people that are believers just like being real and transparent, saying, I am so discouraged. Like right now, I feel really discouraged right now. I don't really feel full of faith right now. I don't really believe right now. I don't really see how this is going to come together. You don't really hear people see like saying that. It's mostly people, kind of, not, I want to say with a mask.
Masking.
But yeah, you just kind of feel like everyone in church is just perfect and has it all together. You look around and it just looks like everyone is just doing amazing. But this week, I'm not speaking like in present tense. I'm not going to speak this over myself, but this past week I was very depressed. And I didn't just like come out and tell my sister that, but because I ignored her calls pretty much for a few days. And then finally she figured out, okay, something is wrong. And was like, I need to fly out there. And I'm so grateful that she did. But I've never been depressed to the point where I haven't eaten. I didn't eat for almost like 3 days. And I don't think I've ever doubted God as much as I have this week, and not really doubting his existence. I know I'm saved. I'm a Christian, but yes, I doubted God. I doubted that he loved me this week. I felt like he forgot my name, like he forgot I was even here on this earth. Like that's how I felt this week. Like, do you even remember me? I felt like Hannah. Hannah was like, God, please remember me. Like, did you forget that you created me over here? Like that's how I felt this week. And it wasn't until I talked to her about it after she basically had to force it out of me. But after I let it out, it kind of started to make me, feel a little bit better.
And here I am thinking like, yes, because she's going through something, and it's something that I have gone through, because I feel like once again, if we don't speak about it, we'll never know. We'll always feel like it's just me. You know, I'm only going through this. I've only ever experienced this, when really, you know, she was going through it. And although I did have to allow her to feel comfortable to tell me, I already knew something was going on. You know, I just needed the details. And I got the details when I came out here. And so, you know, thank God I was able to come out here and, you know, kind of cheer her, well, not kind of, cheer her up and, you know, allow her to just refocus, you know, and just vent and just know that she's not alone physically and emotionally. Because I think those are so important, because, you know, as women, we're so emotional, and whether you have children or not, married or not, you know, you're still a female and you still have emotional roller coasters, you know? And so I think being able to have someone that you know can come out and, you know, be there for you and just let you feel comfortable enough to just spill the beans and, you know, be honest with yourself that something is wrong, and knowing that the person that you are venting to, it will lift you up, you know. And
yes,
yeah,
and I think that is so key, is that it's okay to tell people, I'm discouraged, I'm doubting right now, I don't have any faith right now, or this is how I feel. It's okay to be real. God loves transparency, but what you want to make sure of is, like she just said, make sure that they're going to build you up. You don't want someone that's going to, and if you're in sin or if you're in wrong, you don't want someone that's going to encourage you to continue in doing that, or pat you on the back like, yes, it's okay. No, if you're in sin or if you're in the wrong, I'm going to correct you and check you so that, you know, I can help you get into the right. And so then you want someone that's going to like build you up, that's going to build your faith back up. Like, yes, I understand this is how you're feeling. I get it. Even Jesus on the cross said, Father, why have you forsaken me? So if Jesus himself, he who was without sin, felt forsaken, I don't know what made me think that I would never feel like that, because I have never felt like that until this week. And so it's okay. You know, yes, I understand you're feeling like that. Jesus felt like that, but you know what? You're not forsaken. God has not forgotten you. Just like Hannah, he blessed Hannah with that child. God is going, like, he remembers you. He hasn't forgotten you. And that is what she reminded me of this week. And I mean, yes, we both have husbands. Of course, we tell our husbands everything. But when you're a stay-at-home mom, you know, you're at home for majority of the day. Your husband is probably gone for most of the day. And so you don't really have anyone to talk to. So I'm grateful for the relationship that we do have. And the fact that she didn't just stop calling me when I didn't answer for the 5th or 6th time, but she's like, okay. Then she called my husband and she's like, what's wrong with Tiffany? You know, like she was starting to figure it out. But it's okay to communicate and be transparent and to let your wall down and to let your guard down. Just because you're a Christian, just because you go to church, does not mean that everything has to be perfect or that people expect you to be perfect. Right?
Yeah.
Even my sister, she's like, Tiffany, like, when I told her how I was feeling, she's like, are you serious? Like, she's like, wait, you're serious? I'm like, yes, this is how I feel. She's like, it's so weird because I'm not used to hearing you talk like this. I'm not, like, usually you're encouraging me, but hey, you know, hey.
Sorry. But yeah, that just goes to show that we all go through it, you know, and it just puts into perspective the people that you see at church, you know, always happy-go-lucky. They may be needing someone to talk to, you know, because they're probably trying to hold their pieces together, and inside they're probably just falling apart, you know, and so broken. But again, we have to speak up. We have to pay attention, you know, because had I been so wrapped up in my own and not even realizing that I hadn't talked to my sister, you know, I probably would have just kept right on going and not even realized that she was in need, you know. And I think that's another key point too, is pay attention. You know, if you have a sister or a friend, a female friend that you know is going through some things, but you're not sure, you know, the depth of it, check on them. You know, don't allow them to shut down. You know, if you notice some interruption in their normal pattern, check on them, you know, speak up. You don't always have to wait for them to come to you, you know, because Tiffany doesn't know, but I had already knew what was going on because I talked to Ray.
Mm-hmm.
So, she's thinking that I was just checking on her, but I went through Ray first, her husband, to find out what was going on. I didn't wait for her to tell me, because that was abnormal. We talk all the time, so you just have to pay attention. You have to make sure that you have the support that will uplift you to get you out of that mind frame, that negative space, that sadness. And so that way, if you don't have that, reach out to one of us, or reach out to her, and she'll help you. She'll do what she does best. So yeah.
But yeah, it's amazing because, like we said earlier, we weren't always close. Mm-hmm. We are so different. Oh my goodness. We're hecka different. Yeah. Like, we're complete opposites. Anybody who knows us personally, like, she is the kind of person where if she's not feeling you, you will know.
Yes.
I'm just kind. I try to give people the benefit of the doubt. And I can just smile through it, but not her. We're just so different. And so we used to argue all the time, but when God spoke to me and was like, I'm going to restore this relationship, and I did what he told me to do, we started getting close. And it's amazing because we were in our 20s when that happened. Almost 20. And we act like we're just now starting to find out things about each other. And that happened, years ago when we were kids, and we'll be talking about something, and I'm like, oh, that happened to you too? She's like, oh, what happened to you too? Oh, wow. Like, we didn't even know because we never talked about anything. So it's okay to talk about stuff and to communicate and be transparent and be vulnerable. Like, you need somebody that you can have that with, that's not going to judge you, that's not going to bash you or make you feel guilty or ashamed. Because I felt so guilty and so ashamed this week for saying that I felt depressed, that I don't know if God even loves me anymore. I don't even know if I even want to go to church anymore. I just I don't even know if I think I'm just over the whole thing. I felt so bad for saying that, but she didn't judge me. My husband didn't judge me. He didn't bash me. She really didn't even believe that I was serious at first because she knows that's not me. But yeah, I just really hope that you guys have someone that you can go to if you're feeling down or discouraged or whatever. I mean, you don't have to go through life alone. We are a body. We're a body. The body of Christ is a body. We are brothers and sisters. And I just want you to know that you're not alone. And, that you have brothers and sisters that that you can go to that are going to encourage you and build you up and pray for you and walk you through whatever it is that you're going through.
Exactly. So yeah. So just always keep in mind that you are not alone. Yeah. You are not the only one. I like to tell myself that I shouldn't feel so privileged to have only experienced this. It's like there are so many other people, and I'm thankful that there are other people. My sister or any other friends that I have that go through things, because it lets me feel almost like human, it lets me feel like, okay, I'm not crazy, like this doesn't just happen to me, I'm not the only one that gets sad or questions, my faith or my purpose. We all go through that, and it just allows you to just breathe, to exhale, because you're like, oh, thank God, okay, now I have somebody that can hopefully give you some advice, and be there for you. Like I said before, uplift you and remind you, no, you gotta dust yourself off. You gotta remember who you are, whose you are, and we have come together, I think, at the perfect time. God's timing is amazing, because we're going through kind of this, this similar stage right now, with me being at home with my baby and she's at home with her kids, and it's given us a chance to just open up and be able to just release a lot of stuff that we have held on to, and just have a conversation. Most of the time our conversations are about our babies or just nothing at all, right. And then it turns into finding out something about each other, yeah. And it's just okay, well, that was a revelation. And it's like another chain, another link into, a chain. And so and
it is scary.
Yeah.
Even though like we're close, we haven't always been close. So the fact that I opened up to her this week and I'm like, I feel like this, and we're FaceTiming and I'm just like boo-hoo crying, and she's just like, Tiffany, she's telling me all this stuff that I always tell her to encourage her, but I'm just like, I don't even know if I believe that. Like, what I be telling you, I don't know if that's the truth. But it's real. Like, it's scary being vulnerable. It's scary, even though she's my sister, it's still scary telling her things or being open or honest. I kind of have only felt that even with my husband. I just think the week that I've had, I was even scared to tell my husband what was going on the inside, because I just felt so bad and guilty. Because, like, as I said, as a Christian, as a believer, you're not supposed to feel like this, or you're not, you don't say it or show it if you feel this way. But man, I'm so glad that I was able to have someone to communicate and talk about it with, because
it's a release.
Wow.
It's a release.
It was hard.
You start to, your body will start to, what's the word? Your body will start to like create almost like how you're feeling,
Mm-hmm.
So when you're holding in your emotions, your body will start to take on that form, in a physical form, and you'll start to get sick. She wasn't eating, and I'm like, girl, you're crazy. Like, and I'm the opposite. When I'm sad or something, I'm overeating. So I really couldn't understand why she didn't have an appetite. And that was obviously something that I had to, check on, because she was quick to tell me she was going to wait until I came out here until she ate again. And I'm like, no, that's not an option. So, we just pay attention to each other now in the relationship that we have as sisters, and as friends, as best friends. We pay attention to one another's moods. Or behaviors, or I don't know, Eric might reach out to her and Ray will reach out to me like, yo, check on your sister, like find out what's going on with her, so those are just things that I think are so important, and we have to really cherish those, and just understand that she is my sister for a reason, and we're all going through something, and we just want to be that light. We want to be that reminder, like, hey, girl, you're not alone. Hey, sister, I did that, or I've been through that, and this is what I did. Try this out. But it's just all about uplifting one another.
Yep.
You want to leave the conversation feeling empowered, and powerful. You want to be able to take control of your emotions, because they're real. Emotions aren't something that just appear, we have to understand our emotions. We have to understand ourselves. And I think a lot of the understanding comes through, obviously, your relationship with God, reading your word, but also having dialogue, and having someone that in physical form was like, yes, I know what you're going through, and that just makes it tangible. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we just want to remind you guys, you're not alone. It's okay to be discouraged. It's okay if you feel like you are forsaken. So many people in the Bible felt like that. It's okay if you feel like you are forgotten, if you feel like God may have forgotten your name. It's okay. There's so many people in the Bible. Read the Bible. So many people experience that. You're not the only one. And trust me, probably the person that you least expect to be feeling the way that you're feeling has probably been there before. So it's okay to be transparent, and it's okay to be vulnerable, and it's okay to let your wall down. You don't have to always act like everything is perfect. I know growing in church, we call that, walking by faith. But walking by faith is not pretending to be feeling perfect and happy and just, cheery all the time. That's not faith. That's being fake. That's called, what's the word? What's the word?
It's not fake?
No, pretense.
Okay.
Right? Like you're putting on a show.
Oh, okay.
And so, faith and pretense and pretending are two different things. So, just, you're not alone. It's okay.
It's okay to cry, to scream. I was telling her we should have a scream session.
Yeah.
Honestly, you know,
Yeah.
because you have to physically release, you know,
Yes.
what you have been
Yeah.
kind of hoarding on the inside.
Yeah,
you
because
know?
we keep everything bottled in because either we're ashamed to talk about it,
Mm-hmm.
we're embarrassed, we think no one else has been there,
Mm-hmm.
we feel like people are gonna look at us differently, or what are they gonna think about me because I'm a Christian, I'm saved. If they hear me say this, they're gonna think I'm weak. They're gonna think that I'm, you know, not as close to God.
Right.
Who cares?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm so glad that I opened up my mouth to my sister. I'm glad that my husband called her behind my back and was like, Tim, I think you need to come out here. Your sister needs you. I'm so glad because I would probably still not have eaten till today. And so who cares what people think? I mean, open up, let your guard down with someone that you can trust that's not going to use it against you later on.
Right.
And just let it out. Like, set yourself free. Let all that stuff out. So that it doesn't eat you from the inside out. Like she said, how you're feeling, your emotions, if you let it just sit there long enough, it's going to start eating away at your body, and your body's going to start feeling it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're not alone. So just be encouraged. And
if you want more, please feel free to leave a message or leave a comment. Subscribe definitely to Tiffany's channel. You know, she talks about more than just, this will be its own separate sister dialogue, but she has great messages on her channel. You know, just reach out. You know, even if in the comment you just, I don't know, put a picture or anything, you know. But just know that you're not alone. You know, it's a judgment-free zone. You know, we're understanding people. We're human. You know, you have to be honest with yourself first, and you have to be willing to accept, you know, advice or the words of someone else, or I should say someone else. Wisdom. Yeah. So, alrighty.
Well, thanks for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it helps. Until next time, we will talk to you guys later.
You always stop when we're done.
You just so funny.
Oh.